Well, when we're talking about global markets, the US indices as well as Europe look definitely positive. In fact, even Asia today has opened broadly positive. But let's talk about US first. So the US closed around 1.75% higher. The Dow was up around 1.75% on Friday. When we look in the S&P 500, it was up around 2.5% on Friday, and the Nasdaq was up around 3.3% on Friday. So definitely positive cues through the pipeline on Friday as well. When I'm looking at how US indices or US futures are looking, the Dow is up. The Dow futures are up around 0.25% as we speak. The S&P 500 futures up around 0.5%. So definitely largely positive. And when I'm looking at the last week as a whole, the Dow was up around 6+% last week. The S&P 500 also with healthy gains, and the Nasdaq too gained quite well. In fact, 6.5% higher where S&P 500 is concerned, and the Nasdaq also up nearly 7% through the week last week, and now the Nasdaq is up over 10% from its lows. So that definitely seems to be a recovery trade at play at the moment. When I'm looking at how Europe fared, well, the DAX was up around 1.5%, the CAC 40 also up around 1.5%, and the FTSE was up around 1/3% on Friday. So positive there as well. When I'm looking at how Asia has opened early in trade today, well, the SGX Nifty definitely looking positive. It's very close to that 16,500 mark, so well above that 16,400 pressure point, which everyone is expecting. With regard to other indices in Asia, the Nikkei is up 2%, so sharp gains there. Shanghai also higher by around 1/3%. The Hang Seng up nearly 2% as well. The ASX 200 and the Kospi roughly up around 1% as we speak. So clearly positive. It's all green at the moment as we speak. Hopefully it remains so. When we're looking at oil prices, well, oil prices are elevated. In fact, 2-month high is where oil currently stands. Brent is at a 2-month high. In fact, oil is above that $115 a barrel mark. In fact, it's above $116 as we speak today. It was above 115 on Friday itself. So clearly pressure coming in with regard to oil prices. When we're looking at gold, that too is above that $1,850 an ounce mark. Broadly positive is where gold stands. Couple of weeks of gains is where what gold has seen. With regard to the dollar index under pressure, currently the dollar index is below that 102 mark. It's around that 101.6 mark, and clearly the dollar index has been under pressure in recent weeks, and that continues to be the trend even in early trade today. When we're looking at the 10-year US bond yield, well, there is large amounts of volatility in markets, so a lot of investors are shifting to bonds, which means bond prices have gone higher and continue to remain elevated, which means bond yields have come off by almost 50 bips from their highs of 3.2% plus, where the 10-year bond yield was. It's currently at around that 2.74% mark. So clearly bond yields too under pressure. When we're looking at cryptos, well, Bitcoin was below that $29,000 mark at the start of Saturday. However, currently it's standing just above that $30,000 mark. So definitely some gains for cryptos as well as we see it.